So today I actually just wanted to give it a shot and see if I can possibly use the new Steam controller as actual keyboard and mouse on my computer. I actually received this thing, it was on Friday, so just 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, and I've been messing around with it a little bit, trying to see what it's all about, like exactly what Valve has been cooking with this one. I do gotta say, it's honestly kind of impressive. Just from starting this thing up alone. If you see my TV in the back, which is where my PC is connected to, I can actually technically launch Steam through there. And then it's all just from a touch of the Steam button. And then it turns on Steam big picture mode, which is kind of awesome, especially for somebody who is trying to replace a console with the PC on their home entertainment system of any way, shape, or form, whether it be downstairs at the living room or in the bedroom TV or whatever it may be. I think this controller kind of honestly makes it work really well, surprisingly. Coming from just a person who's been using the Xbox Elite controllers and the PlayStation Pro controller, or the PlayStation Edge, whatever it's called, this thing honestly kind of surprised me of how well Steam did with this thing. I've personally never owned the original Steam controller that was launched, I believe it was back in 2015. This thing honestly is redesigned in the best way possible. The way the ergonomics are, the way it fits in your hand. I mean, the buttons feel really good to click. The touchpad things are actually pretty incredible for the most part. You can literally use your entire PC with this controller. I mean, the mouse is activated automatically. You can scroll around, go to Google Chrome, go through YouTube. You essentially don't even need a keyboard and mouse. I mean, you can log into Windows using this controller alone. Obviously, that is as long as you have the puck connected to your actual PC. That is the most important part. But as long as it's plugged in at all times, you can literally use this as a keyboard and mouse. I think Steam is slowly bridging that gap between PC and home console setup, where your PC is essentially going to replace your home console, possibly, especially with the new Steam machine that is hopefully coming out this year. I believe it was supposed to launch with the Steam controller, but due to RAM shortages and storage crisis that we're going through right now, it's definitely been, I think, a struggle for Steam to launch this thing. Well, the Steam machine, along with the Oculus thing that they have going on, the VR headset. But at least they got this thing out, and I gotta say, it's honestly been really good. I've been just testing it out with some games here and there, playing some Mega Bonk on it, some Ghost of Tsushima, and it handles really well. It surprised me how good this thing is. It fits perfectly into my hands. One grab that I do have with this controller though is the buttons on the back. They're honestly not my favorite when it comes to actually clicking them and using them, compared to something like the Sony Edge controller, where they're little ledges or like little flaps that you can press onto. That just feels a little bit more comfortable and more natural to me personally, but it's definitely subjective and up to personal preference. But overall, I mean, they do the job for sure, and the customization on them is quite incredible. You can literally put whatever input you want on these things through their software, through the big picture mode. You can really edit everything on this controller. Steam did a great job with this. Sadly, there's no pulse triggers of any sort like how the Sony PlayStation 5 controller has, but honestly, I don't think you really need that. Personally, I didn't really mess with the gyro situation that much with this. I personally never ever use gyro sensors on any of my controllers. That's including the Nintendo Switch. I just hate using that as an input method. The way Steam integrated this entire thing with Big Picture OS is where everything is linked up somehow in one way or another with the Steam controller, and you can literally do everything that you need to do, launch all the games that you want, access your entire library without having to get up and go grab a keyboard and a mouse, which is honestly really good. The actual feel and the texture of the controller, it's pretty much 100% plastic. It definitely feels like the Steam Deck. If you own one of those, you will definitely know what I'm talking about. I really love how they did the little charging puck, how it just, you hover it right over it and it just snaps right into place. It's honestly really satisfying. I actually have it right there, right in front of my PC, and anytime I'm done gaming or using it, I just plop it back onto that little puck, charges up whatever I need, and I'm ready to go for my next session. In my opinion, that's awesome. It works so well. Battery life has been really good. I believe the advertised time was about 35 hours. I definitely pushed around 20 hours on it, and I didn't feel like I really needed to put it back on the charger because I believe the battery was still about more than halfway full. So I think Steam definitely nailed it with this one compared to the original, which I know a lot of people had their gripes and dislikes with it. Can't really relate to it very much. I literally built my very first PC back in 2015, so I didn't even have the opportunity to test that thing out because I was still new to the PC world and everything. But with this guy, I somehow actually managed to get one. I was one of the lucky few. They actually shipped it out, and I received it within 2 or 3 days of when they went on sale. So Steam, thank you for this one. I just gotta say, if you get lucky enough to get into the queue to actually order one of these, I think for $100, Steam does bring a lot with this one compared to other pro controllers like the Xbox Elite Series 2, which is very well known to have a lot of trigger issues and drift issues. This one is honestly really good, and I believe the repairability is incredible with this guy. Steam definitely went the extra mile to ensure that, hey, if something does break down, you can partner up with iFixit, and they will literally send you all the parts that you need to replace it, to repair it, which I think is huge for consumers, where you have so many companies that release products that they're impossible to repair, or if you need to fix something, you have to essentially change the whole controller. Here, you crack a few screws open on the backside here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, and it pops right off, and then you have access to all the internals, which is incredible. And iFixit has all the parts, and I'm really glad that Valve worked with iFixit personally to put this thing together, to make it a reality. I think it's been a huge plus for them, honestly. Also, another thing to mention and to know with this specific controller is the fact that this only works with Steam games. That's one downside, but it's really easy to add non-Steam games to your Steam library and play it like that. That's also, but it's just an extra thing that you're gonna have to do to utilize this controller, and it only works with Steam. So that's something to consider if you're trying to find an all-in-all use PC controller that you want to have. It's definitely something to consider and be aware of. But overall, I'd say Steam did a great job with this controller. I think it's fantastic. It feels good. It doesn't feel super cheap or flimsy in any way. They definitely put a lot of thought and care into this product, and I can see what they're trying to do with this. They're slowly developing this system where everything is working together with, whether it be the Steam machine, or I'm sure it'll have some sort of integration with the Oculus VR headset thing that they have. But overall, I think this is a great start to what Steam is imagining with replacing home consoles with their machines or with just a regular PC. And I think it's a step in the right direction, and $100, absolutely worth it.